So this is something I've been really putting off for a very long time because honestly, who feels like dealing with T-top seals, right? Not fun. But they've been leaking and it's only gotten worse. I think the problem is under the center bar here. Water's getting under here and it's coming down in the center. So it's weird because the rest of the seals are in pretty good shape. They really don't look too bad. So I did buy new aftermarket seals, reproduction seals. If you look online, everybody hates them. They say they're no good. There's no brand where everyone says that's the one to get. They all seem to have their problems. So my idea is to try to get this center bar out without destroying these seals. They might even be the original ones. I'm not sure. But in all likelihood, I will destroy them and then I have the new ones. But if I can get these rubber seals out and then get under here, seal this up, put it back in, you know, maybe there's a chance that'll work, but like I said, probably not. I'm probably looking at tearing it all apart and redoing it. So first thing I'm gonna do is try to get this off. There's screws here, and then I believe in the corners under here, I think there's 2 screws in the back, 2 in the front. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this out without taking everything out. It's, you know, I'm trying to peel it back, but you know, it's glued in back here everywhere, so it's not just gonna come out. Doesn't seem like it. So I'm just getting ready to just peel all the seals off and do the whole deal. Well, at least it doesn't look too rusty. I'm gonna turn off the camera because this is just the boring stuff, like scraping off all the glue residue, and I'm gonna have to do it on the other side too, so I'm not sure anybody really wants to see all this. So I'm gonna cut it for now and bring you back when we get this all off and cleaned up. So definitely signs of water getting under here. And to me that looks like water was swirling around going right in that hole. Really not much in the way of sealing under here. It's like this kind of pad. I wonder if this was the seal. A very thin kind of seal there. I don't know. This thing looks okay. It's not too bad. So I can just probably like scrape that up, clean it up, throw some paint on it. Definitely don't need a new one. So this is going to be kind of like a slow process. I started this real late in the day. I was doing other stuff, so just going to take my time and try to clean this up real good. And then, yep, get it all cleaned up and start getting it back together. There was some more rust on the other side. Nothing too bad. Some of this little lip here rusted away. I don't think that'll really cause a problem. Back here one spot too. And a little bit of surface rust here. I'm gonna get some red paint, clean it up, do some paint, make it real nice. And yeah, hopefully that'll do the trick. These old seals, you know, I think they're original. So they did their job. And this is an 84, so talking like almost 40 years. So this little side channel here, I took it off because the coating on it is peeling back, so I just want to remove it and paint it black. The other side is alright for now, so I'm going to leave it. So it's got like this double-sided tape on the back. That's the only pain. I got to scrape that all off. So I've been cleaning out all the channels here. It's looking pretty good now. So then I've got this center bar. The back side definitely, you know, has some rust from the water getting under there. The top side is pretty good. Just trying to scrape out the excess glue. And there is a little rust in this channel here. It's really not too bad. I might go and get some kind of rust converter spray and spray it on here. And I got the wire brush. Just gonna see what I can do with that. So just to try to prevent more rust from coming up in the future, I got this Rust-Oleum Sunrise Red, and it's actually a pretty good match to the car. I mean, I don't think you can get much closer than that with a random generic color. So anyway, brushed it on all the areas where it was like primer showing or bare metal. I did one coat. It'll dry really quick out. It's about 90 something out today, so then I'll come back with a second coat. And for the center bar, I got this rust stop. So I'm gonna give this a few coats. And then I'm gonna have a lunch break, cool down for a little bit. And then I got work today. And then, so I'll give this about 24 hours to dry. And then I'll come back tomorrow, hopefully. Tomorrow's Saturday. And put the new seals in, see how that goes. Doing a dry fit on the passenger side here with the new seal. So I just put a couple of screws in this center bar just to see how this is going to fit. So far it looks pretty good. So looks like you just have to make sure of a couple of things. So there's a little lip that you want to get under the lip on the car there in the front, and then same thing in the back, get it under this channel. And then when you get to the corners, it gets a little tricky. I mean, there is a little tab here that you put a screw through to hold it in place. But then if you peel it back, you can see, let's see if I could do this. There's like a gap there, like a hole. Right there. Where water would probably go right into the car. Same thing on this corner. Seems to be a design flaw with the car. And I guess from the factory they just stuffed some sealant in there. It's a pretty good sized gap. So trying to figure out what exactly to use. There are a couple of options here. So this is the standard 3M weather strip adhesive, which is what was on the previous seals, which I believe to be original. It's like very stringy and gooey. I don't know if it's really good to be filling in voids like that though. It's more of like a glue. So I do have this 1/4-inch butyl tape. And I also believe I have some 3/8, like a bigger, it's like a rope kind of gooey substance. This is what I use to seal the, like on a G body. That's the kind of stuff that goes inside to seal the quarter windows, and it stays gooey forever. The other thing is I have some just black polyurethane. This stuff is really good too. I don't know if I'm going to need to use it or not, but that would be good for filling in voids like that. That would be really good. This stuff, it's like rubber. It doesn't, I don't think it dries to a full hardness either. But looks like I'm going to need some more of this weather strip adhesive. Must have used it some other project and now I don't have enough for this, that's for sure. So probably going to get some more of this. But yeah, I think we'll be okay. Like, it looks like everything's fitting in pretty good. Just got to pay attention to those corners. And also I got to seal, I got to decide what I'm doing under here to seal this, because the original way they had it sealed was just a little square patch of some kind of, looked like double-sided tape front and back, and obviously that didn't hold up well over the years. So I can either use the urethane, I could use the weather strip adhesive, or I can use the butyl tape to seal underneath the center plate. And I think that's the most important spot, because that's where I was getting most of the leaks from. This kind of stuff, if you don't get it right the first time, you could just peel it back and shove a little sealant in there probably to fix it up. But once you put this down, that's it. You know, unless you're pulling all the weather strip out, you're not getting another chance at sealing under there. At first, I was trying to use the 1/4-inch butyl tape, this stuff here, because I figured to seal up the center bar, if I ever had to take it off again, it's a pain, but you can definitely peel that stuff off. But what happened was, when I tried to put it down to get it compressed flat, this stuff is just too thick, and I just felt like I couldn't get it flush. So I took that off, and now I'm using the polyurethane sealant to seal the areas underneath the center bar. You know, this is where the factory had that square sealing pad, which wasn't really working anymore. So I just did it around the screw holes and front and back sections. This should theoretically keep any water from getting underneath the center bar, which was where I think I was getting a lot of leaks. So I'm going to put this on now. Put the 4 center screws down. 2 up here, 2 back here, and you can see the polyurethane sealant oozing out, which is just what we want to see. So that's going to be all sealed up. There's a little bit of a gap here, which we will put some more sealant, stuff it under there to fill that in. Really going to make sure that this is not going to leak. I'm doing the best I can. We'll see. Just took a little urethane and filled in those little corners there, because there's a gap between the lip over here and the channel. There's 2 little channels, so just filled in that corner, front too. And so when we put the weather strip in, we'll make a nice seal in that corner. So I went out, and they didn't have the 3M at AutoZone, so I got the Permatex Super black weather strip adhesive. So we're going to be putting this in the outer channel. So I'm going to be putting it under here, all along the outer perimeters. I guess the factory they put some in here too, so maybe I'll do like a secondary line over here in case anything does get under, it doesn't get back into the car. Should do for the top areas. Seems like this stuff is drying pretty much instantly since it's 95 degrees out today. It'll probably be watertight by this afternoon. Hopefully. Whew. Gotta say, this is pretty stressful. kind of thing you want to have to do over because you messed it up. I'm pretty impressed with the seal though. It seems to fit pretty well. Just as I say that, I'm having problems getting this under the lip here. I always jinx myself. I have to keep my mouth shut. The problem is this sealant is getting very dry very quickly. It doesn't want to slide in. Using the butyl tape to fill in the gap in the corner. Got a nice gap there. I think I'm done. Filled in this front corner. This is like a gap right there. You could see right into the car, so that was sure to leak. I don't even know how this is going to work out. This is just like a weird corner over here. There's really nowhere for the water to go. I guess the idea was to just come through here and then come to the outside. And the other issue is, well, I guess it's an issue, but it's an issue I'm having, getting these T-tops back on. This new stuff is very, you know, big. Doesn't want to, like, I couldn't get the handle all the way to close. Like, I had to loosen the little sockets on each side that the locking bars go into. And still, it's like you really got to push down on these tops to get it to lock down. Also, don't know, this might be an issue. This isn't really fitting so well into here. So I'm just hoping that I don't have to adjust these things. I think you have to take the inner door panels off. I mean, I haven't even dealt with the glass yet. I want to let it dry first. I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. But man, this is not really a hard job, but it's just not fun. It's just very time consuming and tedious and messy. And I would probably recommend just avoiding buying a car with T-tops unless you already know that they're watertight and they don't need to be replaced. That would be my advice. Yeah, I had to loosen up these sockets here to get them up as high as I could to get those locking bars in. So I'm just going to put the tops on and just call it a day and cover the car back up, and then hopefully tomorrow after 24 hours do a water test with the hose and see how we do. Hopefully if there are any leaks still occurring, I'll be able to see where they're happening and get in there and seal them up. So after spending pretty much all day yesterday and 2 previous days working on this, I'm still not done, because now the issue is how the glass fits the seals, which is not good. So up here is a gap right here, a very large gap, where the glass does not seal up against the T-top corner. It's sealing up pretty good to the T-top seal, but then you get to the front, and instead of the glass going up into the groove of the seal, it is completely on the outside of the seal. Don't know how that happened. And there's a gap. Water would get right in there. So now I'm looking at major window leaks. Even if the top seal, I got window leaks. And the other side is not as bad, but it's not right either. It fits better over here. And it actually fits in the groove like it should here. But then there was a bit of a gap where the top seal is. But this top can go farther down. I could adjust it down, but then the issue is here. Let's see. It's just a major gap between the glass and the seal right here. So this window needs to be pushed in. So now the joy will be taking off the door panels and start fiddling with the 8 different whatever, I don't know how many adjustments there are to try to get this glass right. And in previous experience, it's not easy, it's not fun. So probably look at it another full day. Hopefully try to get, I don't think it's gonna ever be 100%, but gotta try to get it a little bit better. Kind of bumming out over this whole thing, and now I'm wishing kind of regretting doing this at all. I'm thinking maybe I should have just tried to leave everything the way it was and just jam some sealant in the front and rear of the T-bar. I don't know. Maybe that would have stopped most of my leaks, because at least with the original seals, the side glass was fitting good. But now that's not the case anymore. So yeah, kind of regretting all of this, actually. These are the kind of things that, you know, make you lose interest in a car pretty fast. I just have such little time, and I'd rather be doing more fun things with the car than spending 4 days dealing with stupid T-top seals. Anyway, I gotta start pulling everything apart, and then I will bring you guys back and see what we can do here. And this is what happens when you leave this car out just one night, because I didn't want to deal with the car. I should have just dealt with the tarp and the car cover, because now you leave this car out and it's not even directly under a tree. The tree's over here, but man, this thing got destroyed. Sap stains, all kinds of stains, acorns, debris. Now this whole car, now I gotta spend time cleaning this whole car up, which will take longer than if I had just put the cover on this car. So another bonehead move by me. Things are looking better after a lot of adjusting. So first thing I did was this corner, this triangle piece here. It was hitting the outside of the seal, and also the glass was on the outside of the seal. It's still not perfect, but it's better. At least it's hitting the inner part of the seal instead of being out on top of it. As far as up here, everything's looking pretty good. Still have this issue in the corner here where are we? There's a gap right there between the seal and the glass. So what I noticed is I think what's happening is the seal that's on the T-top is a little too wide, and it's pushing into this corner seal and deforming it and pushing it in. Because if you take the top off, as you can see, the seal kind of moves back into its natural place. And if you close the door with the top off, it fits a lot better. It's still not perfect, but what I can do is I wedge something behind the seal. Wedge a piece of fuel line behind the seal. Fits a lot better. Very slight gap. So we could try that route. I don't think it's really going to work, but the other option is maybe just trimming this back a little bit at a time, because it seems like this is sticking out too far, or that's sticking out too far. I don't know. But I think this is the best I'm going to get it. The sides seem okay. Everything else seems to fit okay. Obviously, I haven't water tested it yet, so that's another step. But I'll show you how I adjust everything. So in order to adjust this triangle corner thing here, you loosen this bolt and this one. And there's a lot of adjustment here. You can go every direction. I had to adjust it so many times. It was either too low or it was too high up here. So then I closed the door inside the car, and then I was kind of had this loose and kind of just working this piece up until it fit the seal. And then what I did end up doing was this piece was kind of flaring out too much. So in order to get it to curve in, I took this bolt out and I put had some of these big washers, and I put a washer in between the track on this side, just to push that track a little bit that way, which in turn pivoted this a little bit inward, which helped it seal better. Also, the window was going up too high, so then you loosen these two here. This is a front window stop. Brought that down maybe like 1/4 of an inch. And then also this bolt here is a rear window stop. Loosen that up, brought that down by about 1/4 of an inch. I also sprayed some white lithium grease and WD-40 in the tracks while I had everything down. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So I think I'm gonna leave this side for now and then move on to the other side and then test everything with water when I get it as good as I can. One other adjustment I had to do was this track also controls the windows, how it's tilting inward or outward. So there's 2 bolts at the bottom, one here, one here. And when you do that, you can move this track. So I moved this track, I pushed it a little out, and that in turn caused the top of the glass to curve in more towards the seal. We got a leak up here in the corner. Dripping on the seat. Back seems okay. Maybe. The center seems okay. And we got one on this side too. Right here. Oh, we got the back leaking in the back here too. So overall, not great results, you know, not what I was hoping for. Of course, you know, maybe one little drip here and there, okay, but we got 3 major drips. I'm gonna have to spend more time on. I don't even see where this is coming from. Got a major wet spot there too. Okay, so here's the deal. Had a lot of leaks the other day when I first checked it. So since then, I put some urethane sealer across here where this trim piece meets the glass. It seemed like there was a gap under there, so I ran a bead of urethane across to seal that up. And it was dripping in from the bolts where the hinges for the rear hatch glass go through inside the car. So I smeared it was hard to get in here, but I smeared a little sealer up in there too. And we had like a normal rain the other night. It was a lot though, it was like a ½ inch, and everything was dry. So I thought I was good, but then early this morning we had a torrential, really bad downpour. So after that, the passenger side was still all dry, but I got a drip, a pretty good drip over here, the driver's side, seat here and all down here. It's still damp. A pretty good drip coming, and you could see the water was like dripping out of the edge of the plastic trim of the bottom of the T-top. So this side I had already done the urethane last year, but I noticed there was a gap over here in the corner and on the side where the glass meets this edge on the side over here too. So I urethane that earlier today. So hopefully we're just narrowing down where the leaks are. We're down to like the last one, it seems, here. So gonna have to test it again, and hopefully that's it. But if not, there's also, it's just a very poor design where this part of the seal meets this part of the seal. There's a little ridge in there, and water that's coming down this channel could potentially pool up in this area here and go down into the car. But being that this is higher ground than this, I'm thinking it's more coming from this area. I'm not really sure. So we're just gonna have to keep working at this corner until we get it right, but I'm pretty confident I can get it right. We'll see. It's pretty typical with the Camaro. Anytime I've ever fixed anything on here, it's never just one shot and done. There's always requires multiple attempts to get something right. So this is no different. We had another moderate rainfall this morning, and still seeing water dripping in here after my second or third attempt to seal up this corner. It's not a lot, but also the rain was not as heavy as last time, but it's still more than I'd like to see. All right, so I don't know what else to do at this point, so I gotta wrap this video up. Getting pretty long, so I guess I'll just have to live with this one drip here. I mean, I don't know what else I could possibly do. I have no idea how it's getting in, and I pretty much had enough of this. It's been going on for probably over a month now, this project, and you know, time to move on to other things. So if you have any ideas that might help me, please share in the comments. Please subscribe in case I do another update video solving this. You won't want to miss it. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and see you next time.